Hi everyone. That was a bit of a scary hi. So these are going to be my instructional videos. So I'm going to show you how to take your pre-drawn canvas to get it to look like this. So a lot of this video is going to be done really quick brush stroke style in a short amount of time, because I don't want you having to download huge amounts of videos. So please don't feel like you have to rush it though. Pause it, watch it before you paint, and then just paint at your leisure, okay? Because the aim of the game is to relax and enjoy this. So I've been like one of those cooking shows. So I've done I pre-did the yellow. So you'll get all your paints in these little containers, and if you're really clever, which I know you all are, you will actually have quite a bit of paint left to have a play around with other things when you've done. So you take your lids off, and you can even keep the lids to do some other creative craft. You can make some little mobiles out of it or something. So I'm going to take all the lids off because I'm going to be prepared. So I'm not telling fibs when I tell all my classes that I'm a bit of a lazy artist, because I really don't like my brush to be too wet if it doesn't have to be. So I'm going to take a little bit of the black. I'm going to pop that black in there, and then I'm going to grab, which I probably should do with another brush, is a bit of the white. So I'm going to put that on my palette for mixing. So the rule of thumb is big brushes for big areas, small brushes for small areas. So there's really, with my techniques, it's just a lot like cutting in on a wall area or something. I actually don't like that grey. I think with this black you don't need very much black at all, so just a tiny hint of black will be enough to make this grey. Then I'm going to add, and see how I'm moving it out in my palette to mix. So that's going to be a lot lighter there. I'm going to come in. I have found that it's a little bit too dry. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to go all around the emu's beak here. So we're doing this first, even though a lot of the colours are going to come in on top of this, because we want it to dry, and it's a big area, so we want it to dry as fast as it can. So you're going to come in around there. Then I'm going to move to my big brush that already has a fair bit of water on it, and you're going to think this is a little bit strange, but I actually end up painting over a lot of lines. I'm not going to paint over the middle line there. And why I do that, why I even put those lines there, is because most creatives have quite a photographic memory. So to me and all my creatives, we already know those lines are there now just by looking at them. So we're just going to come over on top of that, and again, you take your time. I'm just like pressing fast forward a little bit here. So I'm going to dab in some more white. So I want to do the center part of the beak, take it up in total value. So I want to make that a bit lighter. So I'm going to make that center part, because we want to distinguish it from the main area. While I've got that lighter paint on my brush, I'm going to come around in those areas there to highlight. So even though we're going to get some colours on top of that, we're going to keep some of our grey to fix that there now. So now I'm going to move into the colours. So essentially this is just layering. So you're just going to layer, layer, layer. So I'm going to start with this lovely turquoise green. And it doesn't matter which colour you start with, just start with the colour. So I'm going to come in, and I'm going to cover these lines here so I know where to go. And see, I'm using the big brush, I'm using big strokes, So the reason I'm using the big brush at this stage is because I want to come in with a smaller brush on top to give some variation. So I'm always into following the direction of your lines. So follow these directions here and follow those in. How fun is this? I love painting, honestly. If I had to be isolated, it's me and 40 litres of paint and about 100 metres of canvas. That's kind of an artist's dream on a desert island. Maybe a little bit of cordial. So I'm going to come up here. I'm taking these greens around here. Thank you so much for having me in your home. I feel very privileged. So this is all looking a bit messy, right? But it's actually all going to come together. It's perfect. It's exactly how I want it to look right now. If you're lucky enough at home to have some toilet paper, you use toilet paper. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Or some serviettes, or otherwise just a piece of rag, and see I continually wipe my brush throughout this, dab it again. I might put some of this red out here because I think I'll end up making a bit of a nice, oh, that red really pops, doesn't it? So I'm going to put that red on top of there now. So see, I came in on the beak a little bit, but that's okay, I can fix that up. So I'm going to be doing, oh, made a mistake, but see, I didn't cry. I'm not going to get upset. And why aren't I going to get upset? Because we can fix it. That's why I love acrylic, honestly. It's like it talks to me. So I don't know if many of you know, but I worked in newspapers a long time, so I was always all about speed. So I illustrated and did graphic design, so it's always under the time clock. So that's why I love acrylic, I suppose. I think it allows me to work quite quickly. Then I'm going to come in with orange. So I'm just trying to space out the colours all over the painting, or some would use the word sporadically, which means here, there and everywhere. Yeah. So I'm going to do that. Ooh, this is looking really good. I'm now going to, while I've got the orange on my brush, see, I told you, I'm a little bit lazy with my washing of brushes. I'm going to come in and I'm going to add some yellow. So I'm going to add some yellow. And because I want to do these eyes, I'm going outside the lines. I'm still using the big brush, but if you are more comfortable, move to the smaller brush. So for those of you who have the packs, this is a number 8. It's got a little bit dirty there, that one. This is a number 8, so you'll work between the number 8 and the number 6 brushes. I'll just double check that. Oh, I tell a big fib. This is actually 16, so it's 16 and the 8. I apologise. I just grab those brushes and work with them. So now we're going to use our black. So we're coming towards the end of this little speedy emu. Maybe it could be like Roadrunner. He wasn't an emu, was he? I don't know what he was. You kids are probably kids that are watching and too young for Roadrunner. Okay, so now I'm going to come in, I'm going to do the biggest area first. So I'm using the smaller brush, so I am using the number 8 brush. and I'm putting some black out onto my palette with some water. And the reason I do that, and if you've been to my workshops before, what do I say? I always say I like to use the black like an ink, and I think that's my illustrator past catching up with me. And these are other things you could do at home too. You don't all have to be, you know, buying these packs all the time. Although I'd like you to, but you don't have to. And then you could even do this emu again on some other, like cardboard, or you could do an illustration on some copy paper. That's what I would have. So I'm going to go to Officeworks tomorrow and stash up on some Reflex or Home brand, whatever their brand is, copy paper. So I'm coming in with the black now, and I'm coming around. You can never have enough copy paper at home for kids to do drawings on, and from what I know, you little beautiful cherubs, halve this paper, because this is a time when we need to be you know, cost effective with our art supplies. So halve the paper and just start learning to draw a little bit smaller. So I'm coming in with my black. As you can see, I can be a little bit erratic with my energy in my painting. I like to keep the flow happening. So still with this number 8 medium brush here, coming around. And see, with your lines, you can actually, see, I don't even mind how there's a bit of red coming through there. I think that looks kind of cool. I'm going to come in here. I'm not going to cover up all of the white, but I am going to give like a bit of a feathered, to give a little bit of shadow under the neck here. So I'm going to give a bit of a feathered effect. We had a special little art class friend, Piper. She's got this one for her birthday, so happy birthday, Piper. What a time to have a birthday, hey? But make it special no matter what you're doing. And you are painting an emu. So that's pretty cool. So I hope to see you all back at art class soon. And you've got your vouchers in your pack, so come back and see me. So I'm going to add that shadow effect up into the side of the beak there. I'm painting on the side, so yes, it's interesting times. I'm going to come in, edge off. I'm painting on a board just because I don't want to, I'm trying to be a bit eco-friendly. I don't want to keep wasting canvases just for the purpose of recording, because they probably won't be my best work because I'm really rushing them. But don't you rush them, okay? Take your time. Art is a practice. Yeah, shaping up pretty well, isn't it? So you can let some of those, do some little black highlights in there. You can let some of the white come through. So just be careful with the palettes. They stay, like, they're hold up pretty well, but if you leave the water in overnight, it might soak through. So be careful, don't leave it on Mum's special tablecloth or Grandma's. So now I'm going to come in and I'm going to give a big smile. Yeah, I like it. Hope yours is looking good. If you are stuck in any way with anything, please drop me a line. Oh, please, please send me photos. That will keep me going. Send me photos of how they look, and if the kids are painting them, parents, if you don't mind, them sending me a photo that I can put on my social media. That would be fantastic. Eat your heart out, Bob Ross. Maybe Bob Ross and I need to unite and do some online workshops. What do you reckon, Bob? We would rock it. I work on my hair. He's got awesome hair. Okay, so coming to the end here of this painting, and it's looking spectacular. White for the highlights. Most important highlights are there into that shaded area under the beak. And we're done. So that is the Emu. So this video has gone for 15 minutes, just a little bit over, but I want you to at least take your time, an hour and a half on this painting, okay? So break, let it dry, have a cup of tea with mum, or mum have a cup of tea with the kids, and kids you can have a juice or something, and really enjoy it how you do when you come to the art class workshops. All right, I love you all. Once again, thanks for having me in your home, and stay safe, okay? Look after each other. Bye.